What's going on, folks? Welcome back to We the Champs.
Yeah, late night, we the champs.
I know we usually go at 9 o'clock in the morning. Now it's about 14 hours later. No, what is that? 13 hours later. We're going at 10 o'clock at night with We the Champs. But that's good. This will get out earlier. But hey, it's good to have y'all. I'm your host, Jalen, and we got Uncle D here. We'll catch y'all catch up with Jay later in the week. But let's get into the mix, guys. But before we do, you know the call to action. Hit that like, subscribe. We the champs. We here. Okay. We just had this was week 7 in college football. I had some big games going here. We have some disappointments, and every week there's plenty of blowouts in the college football NCAA. The top 7 teams kept rolling. They got the job done. Specifically, the top 4 teams. You look at Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, and Florida State, all blowouts except for the Georgia game. But we all know how Georgia plays against lesser opponents. They just win the game.
I mean, you still won by 2 touchdowns, man.
Yeah.
It's still 2 touchdown win.
Right. And
y'all just getting spoiled by now, man.
Exactly. But I mean, that's what we do, like Kirby Smart coaches the game smart. It's like, we're up in the league. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to run the ball. We're going to play like this on the offense. Look at the odds. We're going to win the game. Somebody in, up there in Colorado could take a page out that book. Oh my God. Man, just a quick second on this game, dude. Colorado blew that game.
Talk about it, man. I thought we were talking about the Colorado game.
I know, man. I know, but just one thing I want to point out that Colorado can have better in this team. They're lacking an efficient run game. I feel like that was the difference in this second half. Because if you look at the time of possession, it's 34 minutes against 25 minutes, and it shouldn't be, that much if you went up 29-0. So guys, people, their run game is very important on all levels of football. Right?
I don't say nothing about the Colorado game. I will say this, man. Year 1, I'm not ready to light them on fire and say they're like a disgrace yet. They should have some type of bowl game this year, going from a 1-win team last year, and then I guarantee you they will have a top 5 recruiting class coming in next year. So
for sure. So
it is what it is. Back to the real teams right now. Back into the real teams that are already ready right now. So
all right. So yeah, the top 7 teams kept it rolling. Except for Oklahoma, they were on a bye week. And we at number 6. No, the number 7 team, now number 6, Washington, gets it done in the Huskies' home stadium against Oregon. This was
this is a great game, man.
This is the game of the week right here.
Yeah. Bo Nix is still playing well, but I think we actually figured out who's going to win the Heisman so far. I mean, it's really early to say, man, but that game should have went ahead and propelled my man into the Heisman.
Yeah, William Penix is absolutely the Heisman front winner right now. If he doesn't have like a true Heisman moment later in the season, he definitely did in this game, because every time Oregon went up, they answered. And on that final drive, man, they have these pro level wide receivers. These guys are just so good, just getting the ball at the point of attack. And William Penix, physical.
So I think with this being said, Caleb Williams playing as bad as he did this weekend kind of put a blemish on his back-to-back Heisman hopeful. But still, USC might end up having to play Washington. Do they play this season?
Yeah, they play this season.
That's going to be a huge matchup. So
USC is lucky it's not at the not in Washington, because that stadium was live, man. Like, that is some live left coast football.
I guess every stadium that's in Washington State is crazy, since Seattle is like the same thing.
Yeah, Seattle, the 12th man and everything.
Yeah. Pacific Northwest really knows how to do this thing out there. So,
But yeah, Washington, they got some big games coming up. You know, this Pac-12 is still pretty packed as of they're still packed as of the 2023 season, dude. What is the update with Washington? Now I'm curious, what are their moves for next year? They're not going to the Big 12. I mean, Big 10, are they?
Somebody's gonna want them now. I mean,
Or do
it's about money. I don't know. Everybody knows this is about money. So Big 10, Big 12, maybe.
Big 12. I would like to see Washington in the Big 12. Like, or what are the chances that the Pac-12 absorbs teams from other conferences, or like maybe they have a merger?
Teams, man. They only got 3 teams. You know, it is the craziest thing. I feel like if Stanford and UCLA wouldn't have made the decision to go to the ACC.
No, I thought UCLA went to the Big 10.
Oh yeah, they went to the Big 10. It's
Stanford and somebody else.
And Cal.
They're in the ACC. That is just crazy. Like, bro, what?
It's so confusing. It's two of the California teams are going to the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
I had to look up. All I know is 2 California teams are going to play in the Atlantic Coast Conference. So, but the last 3 teams from the Pac-12 are what? Is Washington? Who else is left?
Colorado?
No, Colorado got a home somewhere.
They did?
I thought Colorado has a home.
I'm not sure.
Later on, guys, we'll have to do a whole show about realignment because if it's confusing for people that actually watch college football every week, I'm sure it's confusing for about everybody else.
Yeah, but yeah, we got some new things coming. What else we had going on? So if you look in the ACC, of course, Florida State got it done with the quarterback Travis out there putting stamps on his Heisman resume, and we have another strong quarterback who is actually touted as the number 2 QB coming into this season. We have Drake May getting it done at Chapel Hill with the boys against Miami, winning 41-31. And that game wasn't even as close as 41-31 if you were honestly watching that game.
Man, I just want to give a shout out to Tez Walker. Who finally got eligibility after all that crazy thing being declared ineligible, and he didn't even play at NC Central. So shout out to him, man. First game of the season, catching 3 touchdown passes. So balled out. I mean, definitely is a difference maker. I mean, having a player like that going into like the end of the season is going to be a huge deal whenever they have to face off with Florida State.
Yeah, you know, you're going to need those kind of guys to come up and make those plays, you know?
Yeah, they got some game breakers now. I was surprised Louisville got beat down the way I'm not surprised they lost, but they looked like what everybody thought Louisville was going to be.
Louisville lost?
Man, yeah, you didn't see the score?
Yeah. I looked at the scoreboard like 10. Oh, bro. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. To Pitt.
Yes. But Pitt always plays well against ranked teams, man. Like Pitt always plays well against ranked teams. So Louisville was overachieving, and they were brought back down to earth. So it's still a good story for the season, but I mean that was a tough loss. I mean, Duke rolled through NC State this weekend, so Kansas had a bad loss to Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State, yeah.
Man, boy, I thought that Roll Tide, I thought it was gonna lose again this weekend. You know, we always kind of pray for their downfall. So
always.
I thought it was about to lose.
It's like watching the Patriots play and just hoping the Patriots get crushed.
Bro, we can't even talk about the Patriots, man. Don't even bring that ghost of a team up yet. Later on in the show.
So we speaking about Florida State. So Florida State has a tough matchup. They have Duke coming to visit this coming Saturday.
They're playing down in Tallahassee, though, right?
Right.
I mean, if Duke, I don't even know what to say, man. If Duke can pull out that game, that'll be amazing for their
Well,
program.
isn't the quarterback isn't he injured?
He is, but I thought he was back. I'm pretty sure he's back.
Okay, there's no way they go down there and win without him. I'm not sure they'll win with him. Okay, we have Alabama and Tennessee this upcoming weekend. Tennessee is going down to Tuscaloosa.
Man, I got Tennessee.
Tennessee? Okay.
I ain't even being a hater, man. I got Tennessee. Because, I mean, think about how many close games Alabama's had this season that they've actually pulled off and won. I mean, they're still well coached, man. But
absolutely,
their talent isn't the same as it was. I mean, that NIL money, Nick Saban needs to catch up, man. Like, you can see the difference when your boy Kirby Smart understands how to hustle and bring those guys in. And so old school coaches are suffering right now. Everybody is stuck in their ways.
Now, all right, so wasn't it Franklin, the head coach of Penn State, who made a comment about Georgia buying players? Was it him?
Yes.
Okay. Was he hating?
I mean, you know they hating. You know they hating, man. So this is a little segue.
And he came from the SEC conference, didn't he? He was the coach at Vanderbilt, right?
Yeah, man. But Vanderbilt, that doesn't really count. So he's the coach of Vanderbilt, but Vanderbilt is like the weakest link of the SEC.
Damn, that's crazy. Vanderbilt, they're in the SEC. It's like, bro, what? It's weird.
Yeah. But think about it like this, man. All those coaches have made so much money off of players. And so the one time that they finally have the opportunity to put money in players' pockets, like everybody is like up in arms about it. So dudes like Kirby Smart, Coach Prime, who isn't doing the best, Coach of Michigan, Harbaugh, all those guys are getting behind it and trying to actually put money in players' pockets the same way, that they're doing. And then was talking about transfer portal, same thing. So nobody gets mad at the coaches whenever they chase after money and lead the program. Nobody's saying anything to them, but let a player jump team, whatever. But the school's making money off these guys, so it is what it is.
So much. You can't even talk about how much money they've made from the likeness. I mean, just think they're selling their jersey with their name on it, or did they used to have the college player's name on it? It was just a number.
It's just a number.
That's close enough.
It's still a number, though. You know what I'm saying? You know who that is. So honestly, man, I'm just happy that EA Sports is gonna actually start back making college football games.
Yeah, man. That's it right there. They missed out on so many like good player games. I remember the last one I played. What was the last one I played? Last college NCAA football game I played was Johnny Manziel's biggest year, and it was so much fun playing with Texas A&M on there. And there's just so many damn different players to play with, dude. That was a heck of a game.
We need that, so I'm excited for that to come back. So.
Okay. Speaking of Franklin and Penn State, they have a big showdown at noon on Saturday against Ohio State, and they're playing in Columbus.
They're playing in Columbus, man, but still.
I honestly haven't seen too much. I haven't scouted too much on Penn State.
Penn State like the more complete team compared to Ohio State this year. But I mean, Ohio State is always a well-coached, solid team. But just this year, like the eye test, Penn State has been way more dominant in their wins. So it'll be a great matchup in Columbus.
I'm gonna take Penn State in this one.
You taking Penn State? Okay.
Yeah, they're the underdog. They're the underdog, and like you said, I've been hearing pretty good things about. Like I haven't scouted them too well this year, but I've been hearing pretty good things about them from other analysts and other guys talking about them. So I'm gonna rock with Penn State on this.
All right. Who else is up this weekend? Duke, FSU.
Duke, FSU.
Man, you're going down to Tallahassee. I'm sorry. I don't see Duke. I think the glass slipper actually breaks this weekend with Duke being down in Tallahassee.
All right.
I mean, it's starting to feel cool and chilly up here. It's gonna be cool in Durham, but when you get down to Tallahassee, Florida, it's still gonna be sticky and hot at night. So FSU should be able to pull that win off, man. I think the nose is still bad.
Sure. And another top 25 matchup. Utah is going to the Coliseum to play USC this week. That could be a. Hey, USC is gonna have to get some things right on both sides of the ball to win this one.
Oh well, Caleb Williams. This is his first career game with 3 interceptions. I don't see him having 2 back-to-back bad weeks, man. Lincoln Riley, quarterback in college, rarely has 2 bad back-to-back weeks. So I think that Caleb will ball out. I think USC's offense will play great, but it's still, man, their defense is so suspect.
All right. It's like if anything they'll get right, they'll put up points against this Utah team. But that defense is forever sus. That's just Lincoln Riley's. That's just his DNA, his personification. Yeah. And then one thing they're getting away from. So Lincoln Riley the base of his teams are always predicated on running the ball. If you look at Oklahoma, they've always had some pretty strong run games. Mm-hmm. I remember it was really impressive a few years ago when they played Georgia in the college football semifinal. That's probably a top five college football game I've ever watched. Yeah. Oklahoma ran the hell out of the ball in that game, and that's another thing they're lacking right now is the strength of that run game.
Yeah, they're way too pass happy, but we'll see. Going into a big matchup, hopefully they'll bounce back. I was having really high hopes to have a back-to-back Heisman winner, but I swear it seems like every time the second campaign something happens,
right,
and they just don't play as strong going down the stretch for that player.
Yes, that and this like the narrative. It's like people want to vote for somebody else too, unless they're like a real big fan. Like, look at William Penix, dude. He plays in Washington. Washington is like, they're catching steam and getting hot, and he's left-handed. Like, bro, like, come on.
The story is there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we'll see, man. It's still halfway done. So,
yeah, we literally only halfway done. Not even quite halfway done. All right. Hey, it's time to roll on to some professional football talk. And in the words of Uncle D, a.k.a. Coach Phil Blackson, this is upset Sunday in the NFL.
Oh, man. What you want to pop off with first? The biggest upset of the weekend?
Yes, let's go ahead.
Man, it finally happened. I'm going to blame J-Boat for this one. The quarterback that had never lost.
Never lost.
And finally had his first defeat as a professional football player. So everybody knows Brock Purdy has been setting the world on fire the last year and a half as a starting quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers. And the team ran into a bunch of injuries, man. I'm not really trying to discredit that loss, man, but when you lose that much of talent on your team in a game that's like so surprising, and then against the number 1 defense in the NFL, man.
Yeah, Cleveland is tough on defense, bro.
Garrett, man, yo, that dude, we can't even say nothing about that dude. I should have picked him. I honestly should have picked him as my preseason pick to be defensive player of the year. I don't know what I was thinking by not picking that dude. So, but he's been wrecking shop. Your boy PJ Walker out there.
Yeah. That man was grinning he be grinning so much. I don't know if he grinning or that's just like his normal face, but PJ Walker always under that helmet.
That dude, man. I mean, I'm happy for him. Still, I mean, I don't think it changes anything from thinking the 49ers are the number one team in the NFL. So it doesn't really change anything for me.
All right, hey, anything can happen on any given Sunday. It's just a L. And looking at it, Brock Purdy didn't play a great game. He threw his first interception of the season, I believe.
His first.
It was pretty much an uncharacteristic throw. Or he makes some erratic throws sometimes. Now you look at the last drive, he drove that team down the field and put them in position to win the game. All they had to do was make the kick, and the rookie kicker missed the kick. Man, that's that's what it came down to.
So I will even say this, man. People put a lot of doubt in Brock Purdy, but like you even said, in a situation like that where he still put his team in a position to win the game, man, that still gives a lot of props to that young man. So I sure as hell wish my team had a quarterback like that. So I'm just saying. I digress.
Hey man, we gonna be straight.
We'll talk about that game. You want to talk about the next team that lost?
All right, yeah. Let's talk about the next upset. So the Eagles travel up to MetLife Stadium and also take their first loss of the season, 14-20 to the New York Jets. This was a banger, man, and you could Jets, Jets. Man.
Hey man,
that was a good game.
I want to say Zach Wilson. I gotta give props to Zach Wilson because I'm one of them. I'm one of those dudes, man. I was like, man, this dude is trash. But I mean, it goes to show you everything the Aaron Rodgers effect of actually showing support, just trying to make sure that young man is learning. You can tell he's putting in the work. I'm not saying that he's going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback, but it's still a good story to just have somebody come out and show growth. It gives me hope, you know what I'm saying, for maybe somebody we have actually one day show some growth and development. So
we got to keep pounding, man. We got to keep pounding.
Yeah, something like that. So,
but
you about that crazy play from your boy Jalen Hurts.
Yo, did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my gosh, Hurts was getting tackled, stiff arming, threw a sideline throw to AJ Brown, and I was just like, bro, what in the world was that? That's Josh Allen-esque. That was intense. That was crazy. But that was a great play. However, this definitely wasn't Jalen Hurts' best game. So the difference here,
3 interceptions.
Yeah, 3 interceptions. The Eagles also had DeAndre Swift fumbled. They punched it out. 4 turnovers against 0 turnovers to the Jets.
Still lost 20-14.
Mm-hmm.
There's another thing. There's another team that I'm not worried about.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm not worried about.
This Jets defense is tough. I mean, that's what the coach is. His reputation is for defense with Robert Saleh. They got talent all over there. Williams, Gardner. They have some guys out. Still got C.J. Mosley over there, the linebacker that happens to get interceptions all the time. This was just a tough game. Now, one thing that was kind of uncharacteristic about the Philadelphia Eagles in this game, they threw the ball a lot more than you would expect the Eagles team to throw the ball. I think Swift only had like 8 carries in this game.
Yeah, and it was weird too, also considering that the secondary of
10.
the New York Jets is like probably the top 3 secondary in the league,
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're thinking about the way that their linebackers cover one of the top 3 corners in the league. I mean, I'm sure Sauce thinks he's number one, but I'm just saying, regardless.
Come on, did Sauce play? He played, right?
Yeah, Sauce played.
Okay.
Sauce played. I mean, their defense is crazy, but to think that Philly's plan of attack was to throw the ball that much against the team whose secondary is that great. I mean, I don't know. It's just a fluke game plan for a team that's that solid.
Yeah, and I feel like that's mostly what it comes down to. I mean, I'm watching the game, and it's on like first downs where they clearly run the ball. It's like they got too cute with it and pass the ball. And I literally asked myself a few times, like, dude, why are y'all tossing the ball through the air right there?
I mean, but that's what they did last year down the stretch too. When they had the bad losses, that's when they lost to the Commanders.
When they lost, the Commanders, they turned the ball over a lot.
It was the same thing. That was like a mirror game to the Commanders game from last season.
That's crazy. That's exactly what I was thinking about. I remember who was it? It was like Quez Walker, one of the guys caught the ball, and then he caught it like on a deep post route.
Mm-hmm.
Safety came behind him, knocked it out, fumbled. It's just the turnovers, man. It was just like you said, a mirror game. And then that Jets crowd was in the game, dude. You saw what they call him, firefighter Tom, John, the old dude with the hat, bro. He be out there.
That whole fan base, man. You got to think about how crazy it is this season for their team. The first 5 minutes of your season that you expect to have your best season ever, you lose a Hall of Fame quarterback. You win that game. The next 2 games, your former top pick is playing like trash, and then they get reinvigorated, and then they won the last 2 games. So I mean, the Jets have had a roller coaster of a year. Hey man, and you seen Aaron Rodgers out there walking around talking about he coming back this season.
He said this season?
He said that, bro.
Hey, man. I knew he said he was coming back. I didn't know he was talking about this season.
Man, yo, he walking around like he's Iron Man.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you're looking at the other top teams in the league, Chiefs played on Thursday. They won 19-8. The Broncos. I didn't see the Broncos scoring that much against this Chiefs defense. The Chiefs aren't putting up staggering numbers, but they're winning games.
A win is a win. They had the first loss. They haven't lost since. So,
all right. And their first loss was to the Detroit Lions, who I believe at this point they're for real in the NFC. They beat the Bucs 20-6, but this game it's not as close as the scoreboard says it is.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been saying for a minute, Jared Goff is a pretty solid quarterback.
I mean, he's taking the team to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was a Pro Bowl quarterback too for like 3 years before he even got to Detroit. So, I'm happy for that dude. I'm happy for anybody that's able to overcome adversity and ball out the way he's done the last 2 years. So, shout out to Jared Goff. Also, shout out to Jalen Rose, man, the #1 Detroit Lions fan of all time, man. So I miss hearing my man on Jalen and Jacoby always shouting out the Lions. So I'll check him out online and hear his takes on this, man. So I'm happy for Jalen Rose.
Sure. And then we did mention, like we're saying, I'm saying the Lions are for real. Before the show, we were talking, Darnell mentioned that that it's very possible that the Lions could be the #1 seed going into this NFC playoffs. And that would definitely be a tough trip to go up to Ford Field and play the Lions in their home stadium for the playoffs. So, the Keys, hey, they're in the driver's seat. They control their destiny here.
In that weak NFC North that they're playing in, that
they're gonna run that.
Come on, man. Jordan Love. I mean, he's having growing pains this first year. I'm still a Jordan Love believer. I feel like he could end up being a good quarterback for a while in Green Bay. Captain Kirk, hopefully he enjoys his time in Minnesota. I don't see him being there after this year.
Where would he go? Where did he go and play?
Bro, he's gonna be a free agent. So I mean, he actually would not waive his no trade clause. So he shouldn't be traded this season. He's a dude that is all about his family, and shout out to him.
Right.
Not wanting to uproot his family because he said that's more important. I can't even be mad at it. But,
now I've heard talks of Atlanta.
Everybody wants him to go to Atlanta.
Atlanta?
Probably the best fit. I mean, they could trade for Captain Kirk and get rid of Ritter. They could trade even, and really wouldn't do much to hurt either team because there's so much talent coming out this year in the draft that like they should have the opportunity to draft their quarterback of the future. So
yeah, you can definitely get a guy just think of like Bo Nix. I don't see him being maybe a top first round quarterback, but somewhere in that second round, possibly. Not saying he's not even a first round talent. It's just so many guys.
Even if you had Bo Nix, like not start and sit behind
Kirk Cousins. Oh my gosh! Like, dude, that is an amazing plan right there. That would be perfect.
I mean, I would do that. I mean, if Bo Nix would have left early last year, he might have been a top pick in the draft, but another year transferred. So Bo Nix as a second round pick going and sitting behind a vet quarterback, that's ideal. I mean, it worked out well for Jalen Hurts.
Right. Oh, exactly. All right. What else we got going on here? Oh yeah, let's go ahead and talk about these Panthers, man. Bro, look, they went up. I was saying to myself, man. So I was excited. I was excited, but I was saying to myself, dude, don't get too excited. Don't get too excited. Look who they playing. Like this game is don't do it. And exactly what I thought was gonna. Well, I still in my heart believe we could win, but this wasn't gonna be a convincing win. Somewhere in my heart, I still thought we could win that game, but it wasn't going to be a very convincing win. It might have been like a field goal win or whatever. But then Miami came, Tyreek Hill just burnt us, is doing backflips. And I was like, damn, but I had Tyreek Hill on my fantasy team. He's the number one wide receiver in fantasy right now. So I needed those points, but damn.
What was so at the time you was excited about that game?
I was excited, but I wasn't like
what was the score? Nephew, what was the score when you were excited about the game?
14-0.
Okay, what was the final score of the game?
Was it like 42-20? 42-21.
42. Man. And then I had to listen to pundits talk about, yeah, man, Bryce looked good. What? He looked good for like a quarter. He looked good.
He looked a lot better, man. We're seeing progression.
Man, yo, his deep ball looks like trash, yo. He's completed one pass of over 27 yards this entire season.
Let's see, what was his longest this weekend? His longest pass was
What is it?
His longest pass was 27 yards this weekend to Adam Thielen.
One. All season. That's his longest pass.
Mm-hmm.
Longest pass. He has not completed anything else longer than that. And then I know I'm gonna hear people say, "Oh, yes, you got to watch him develop and all this." That he has got to like work on moving around the pocket. And I know everybody's all his strength in college, the way he moves, and he can get the ball out of his hand. He was having to take like a seven step drop back to get the ball out of his hand because honestly, he cannot see over the line. He is having to drop back that far because he cannot see down the field. And what the hell is the use of having a quarterback that can move the ball down the field? That was the whole purpose of drafting a quarterback with the number one pick. And today they announced Frank Wright is giving up.
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, he sure as hell should, man. I'm just saying because
Something.
all the offensive minds that they said that they have, man, and to look this unprepared for games, man, that's a slap in the face to all the fans. And so everybody's gonna get what they deserve when they fire everybody in that organization and clean house.
Damn.
I'm just saying. I'm tired of losing.
I'm tired too, man. It's the longest we've been like bad ever.
And then I'm not even gonna look. I know I give Bryce a lot of crap, but I would say this. Hopefully they can bring somebody in that will actually help develop him. Because it's looking like I don't think that Bryce was Frank Wright's pick. That wasn't his pick. That's a Tepper pick. If you go back and look at everything leading up to the draft, man, everybody thought that it was going to be CJ.
Yeah, for a long time. Like you looking on Instagram right now, you'd see old posts like, "Oh, here's how the future offense of the Panthers might look like," and it has CJ Stroud right there. Now I was okay with that. I did want Bryce, but I was okay with the CJ Stroud pick.
Okay with that, man. We need to segue into CJ Stroud. If you are just okay, CJ Stroud from the beginning looked most like the pro-ready quarterback. Like if you asked anybody who is a NFL quarterback and they showed you the stature, the size, the stats, playing at, I mean, and they're both playing at premier schools, but CJ Stroud just looked like what you want as a prototypical quarterback. And
but the stigma with CJ Stroud is the Ohio State NFL quarterback.
Well, what's the stigma?
Transgression, man. They just
quarterbacks.
It's like they just got it. They just got it too made in Ohio State.
Who? All right. So name great quarterbacks that are in Alabama.
Tua's on his way.
Yeah, one. I rock with Tua. CJ Stroud is on his way too. So, I mean,
I'm saying if you look at looking at the film from the college tapes, CJ Stroud, not holding it against him, but he didn't have to face too much adversity he didn't have to go against too much pressure and improvise for his team. And that's what Bryce displayed when he was at Alabama. He ran into those situations a lot. But that Georgia game, I feel now looking back on it, that Georgia game was all the tape you needed to see. It's like, okay, if this man can do this against a college team full of NFL prospects, then he could have been doing this if this was happening all year.
So everybody talks about how depleted Alabama's wide receiver core was for Bryce. Yeah, cool. I can agree. I see that. But they still had one of the best offensive lines in the country. And so anytime that he was pressured by real NFL caliber players, he struggled. He struggled against A&M, and he struggled against Georgia. And so those were a lot of things that Nick Saban were doing to like cover up the deficiencies of Bryce. And hopefully he can. We're stuck with him. We're stuck with him for at least the next 2 years. So hopefully there'll be something that we can do to help change his release mechanics, to make him more comfortable, so that he can get the ball out of his hand quicker, and to get him more comfortable. Yeah, that's what I got to say about Bryce. Hopefully, having somebody switch up play calling for the team will help him out soon. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm curious. I want to look up what do you know about the offensive coordinator?
That is not Frank Wright. No, I don't know, man. I don't know much about him.
That much probably don't even matter. You probably either you good or either you got it or you don't. Like for real.
I mean, we're 0-6 right now, right?
Damn, we're the only winless team. The Panthers are the last winless team, right?
Yeah, because we trash. So it's not gonna hurt. I mean, it's not gonna hurt, but I'm telling you, this is gonna be a one and done year for Frank Wright. This is gonna be a one and done year. And I would honestly be surprised if Scott Fitterer, if Houston comes in here and CJ Stroud balls out and Bryce struggles, they're gonna fire Scott Fitterer. They might fire him the next day.
Damn, you think so?
Why would they not?
Oof.
I mean, the Bears they're already slated to have the number 1 and number 2 pick.
That's crazy, man, for the Bears. Yeah. Shoot, man, we'll see. We'll see. How long has Scott Fitterer been? He's been with us, since Gettleman left?
Yeah. Yeah, and Gettleman was not my favorite general manager, but hell, he makes
Gettleman look like,
yeah, man, like that dude is Pat Riley or something, you know? Like he's making Gettleman look like an amazing football mind, but I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to get team play. So it is so funny to listen to everybody just so excited about one quarter of football. So out of this whole 6 games, all we had is one quarter of hope. Hey, one good thing is, man, Chuba Hubbard should have been starting, man. He should be starting the rest of the season. He played great. So that's a win.
Hey, Thielen's been balling.
Yeah, Thielen is, man. What J-Bo needs to take back everything he did.
He said, yeah, he did, because Thielen's been killing it.
Yeah, Thielen. I mean, Bryce. I mean, that's the only dude that Bryce targets. But still, seriously, man.
I mean, it's a reason. It's a reason he's the only one he's targeting.
Where's Hurst? Hurst he caught what, 1 pass on Sunday? It's been really hard to watch him, man. Like really hard. Their receiving core, yeah, I know that they're not. I know that they're bad. So it's a combination of bad receivers, bad quarterback play, bad coaching, terrible defense, injuries. CJ Henderson actually played decent, so I can't even hate on CJ Henderson covering the back half against the fastest wide receivers probably in the history of the NFL. So
boys just be burning.
Man, yeah, that's like you turn your speed up all the way on Madden. It's crazy.
All right. And you were saying, so what? All right, what is your disbelief in the Bills? The Bills had a banger last night against the Giants. One on the final play of the game, the Giants tried to get the end zone to Darren Waller, and the pass is broken up, incomplete.
Diggs is all they got right now, and they have so many injuries. That's my biggest thing. I'm not taking anything away from that team. Yeah, Josh Allen, Captain America looking dude. I mean, he goes out there, he plays hard every game. One thing I will say, he's probably one of the best leaders in the NFL. And that is one thing that I totally respect about him. but they're banged up, man. They still found a way to win against a trash. That team is trash. We know the Giants are trash.
The Giants. So the Giants this season are looking like what everybody projected them to be like last year.
But what do we talk about? Every Belichick disciple has a great first season with a team, and then they fall off. So
because this is the Giants are falling off bad right now. The 1-5 start. All right. Speaking of Belichick, the Patriots, man, are just the Patriots just as bad as us. They just got one win.
Listen. Them dudes got 6 Super Bowl rings. I don't feel bad for them.
Nah, hell no. We're not feeling bad for the Patriots.
And they have a win. We don't have any W's. We have 0. We have no W's. Nothing. So yes, I think that the Patriots are a terrible team. I think that at this time, I think the game is passing Coach Belichick up a little bit. You know, not to say that he's not an amazing coach. I think that him being president of operations, like actually trying to draft and coach and do talent for his team, that's too much for him at this point, man. If you only had him coaching, I think that would be a better situation for him. But Teddy Bruschi was talking about how what the players are playing for is not what the old school Patriots were playing for. Old school Patriots were playing to win championships. They were playing to win big games, Sunday night games, win divisions. And now they're at the point where he said he feels like they're coaching, like Bill is coaching to try to beat Shula for the all-time winning coach. And that's from an all-time Patriots great who's like kind of disgusted at his organization for where they've been at. And no hate, I mean, like Coach Belichick deserves to break the all-time record. I think he's like easy top 2-3 football coaches of all time. But like I wish he would walk away rather than, tarnish his
right
over trying to break a record,
All right. True stuff. Okay, the Ravens played in London. They beat the Titans 24-16. They just made plays down the stretch. The Titans couldn't really garner much of an offense, and especially when Tannehill went out, there wasn't much they could do. I kind of wanted to see Will Levis get some action in there. I just wanted to see what he had. They had Malik Willis. He did throw the ball downfield a few times. Was scrambling, took some sacks. Didn't look too much different from last year, but the Titans just don't have much juice to work with on offense right now. They're sitting at 2-4.
That's another team that could use Kirk Cousins. So I mean, Ryan Tannehill getting hurt after he was already having an up and down year. I mean, that's what Ryan Tannehill does, man. I mean, he's a great professional, but I mean, he has an up and down year every year for the last 3 years. And I feel like Tennessee has drafted a quarterback his replacements the last 2 years, and neither one of them have worked out. So we'll see.
All right. And then we had the Commanders convincingly beating the Falcons. Actually, this game came down to the wire. Desmond Ridder threw a bad interception at the end, and now his undefeated home record is spoiled. Jay was talking about that. He was like, "Man, I hate stats." Jay doesn't like trend stats, but I feel like this guy plays after every full moon. He gets the victory type stuff. I get it. It's a trend, but then you have to look into why is that the case? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not too much data behind that reason. Like, why is the case? But yeah, the Commanders, they break a 3-game skid and getting this victory over the Falcons. Just hey, don't sleep on the Commanders, man. It's still early in the season. 500. I mean, they have the tools to be a pretty decent team. So don't sleep on the Commanders. And we mentioned the Bears. Man, Fields hurt his hand.
Yeah, man, but before he hurt his hand, he had already thrown an interception, and he was playing. It's so hard. It's so hard to watch Justin Fields play, man, because that young man is so gifted and has like the tools to be an elite quarterback, or at least to be a solid quarterback. And right now, he's looking more like Carson Wentz than else. You know what I'm saying? You see the parallels, man. So right now, my comp for Justin Fields is Carson Wentz, because you know Carson Wentz has the ability to go out and win the MVP at one point of his career. But then, other than that, like, he's a turnover machine.
Turnover machine, gosh.
That's what Justin Fields has turned into. So hopefully a change of scenery, man. If he wouldn't have got hurt, I would have looked at him to get traded this season. After I don't know why the Bears did not just trade him after he balled out that last game. His stock was so crazy. So they could have honestly traded Justin Fields for whatever you want to trade him for, and you still would have had the top 2 picks. Pick Caleb Williams, draft Caleb Williams, or if you don't love him, draft Drake May. Either way, you would have your quarterback for your regime and build around that guy. So, but now Justin Fields is still in limbo, and it's almost not even fair to him. So he needs a fresh start.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that one. And the Bengals are growling back, man. They're 3-3. They had a tough one against the Seahawks. This one came down to the wire, like a long 4th and goal. They got the sack on Geno Smith. Man, I still don't see the Bengals quite surging back, man. Just something. Like, I know those losses were a few weeks ago, but those were bad losses, and like, we just can't forget. We can't forget those happen. There's a reason those happen.
I think the biggest thing is Joe Burrow doesn't look like Burrow right now. I mean, he's winning, but he still might be hurt. You know, he's still a knee injury at the beginning of the season just isn't gonna go away like that. You know.
Yeah.
So, the way he's moving around in the pocket isn't the way we're used to seeing Joe Burrow move around like that. I mean, he was still 24-35, but there were no long bombs like we're used to seeing him be able to drop back and throw. You know, his receivers, Jamar Chase still got 80 yards, but a season ago that would have been 120 against the secondary in Seattle on a big game like that. But I mean, it is what it is. At least they're winning. I mean, we still don't know. We still don't know how that division is going to be, because we all thought Pittsburgh was going to be better than what they are, even though they still will beat division opponents. Baltimore is still looking like Baltimore, like we think they're going to be, if their guys can stop dropping the ball.
Oh, so they had 8 drops last week. I didn't know it was that many.
Yeah, man.
8 drops.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's really bad. 8 drops is a lot.
That's why I get so pissed for Lamar. Like, if you think about, I wish we could go back. We should do this and check it out and see how many drops over the last 3 seasons Lamar Jackson's receivers have had compared to the next 5 top quarterbacks in the league. I guarantee you he's blowing them away by like miles, because he has not had solid receiver play. Even if he's had name brand receivers
Dude, one thing I was thinking about this, bro. OBJ is robbing these people of 17 million. It's like it happened. All right. Were they like, I know they wanted to keep Lamar. We were up in the air. Everybody was iffy about it, but you gotta want to keep Lamar, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I feel Odell was definitely 100% part of keeping Lamar. And they paid him $17 million for the season. This man is barely playing, not separating, and getting one catch in a game. He's coming back and playing, dude. That's he got more than D-Hop, bro. What? Yeah. The whole time I was, dude, I have a blog article. I said it on the podcast several times. I was like, Ravens need to go and sign D-Hop.
I didn't understand it, bro. Why did they not get D-Hop?
So I think that was like why that, and they signed Odell. I think there was something with the timing with it. I'm not too sure, but I know I was watching one sports show, and the analyst said he was talking to the coach of the team or the general manager about DeAndre Hopkins, because it was a whole ordeal with DeAndre Hopkins, and he said his personality doesn't fit with the players. So maybe the Ravens were just like, all right, we just. I think that's what it had to be. They were like, we're not rocking with this guy.
Yeah, but which is crazy to me, because they were saying the same thing about Randy Moss before he went to the Patriots. You know what I'm saying? So winning cures everything. D-Hop might have been a jerk because he was playing with your boy Mighty Mouse out there. So
Kyler.
Yeah, your boy Kyler.
Killer Murray.
So D-Hop just might not have liked playing with him, man. And then I never heard like Deshaun wanted him. Deshaun wanted him up in Cleveland.
Oh man, I wanted D-Hop to go to either Cleveland or Baltimore.
Yeah, that would have been better than what either one of those teams did. But man, shout out to Odell for getting that money. But I'm just saying, it's crazy to me, right? I could have got D-Hop, but I got Odell off of what, 3 knee injuries that he's had?
I have no idea. I lost count.
Yeah. So I mean, not saying that he's not like a talented receiver, but it's just when you're comparing for health reasons, I would think the team would have gone a little bit harder to go after them. But I digress.
Right. The Ravens are 4-2 and still rocking. But shoot, man. That about wraps it up for this segment. Do you have anything else for us, Uncle D?
Man, Panthers on a bye week this week, so we won't lose. So I'm excited about a week where I don't have to talk about Carolina looking bad. So
we're still gonna be winless. We won't lose. We're not losing this week, but we still gonna be winless.
That's a good point. Nah, man, that's it. I'm looking forward to next show where we get into my number one love, that basketball Jones.
NBA talk. NBA kicks off next Wednesday. I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited about that. But all right, guys, that wraps it up for this segment of We the Champs. Definitely check us out later in this week. I'm gonna chop this episode up. But if you haven't, make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, and We the Champs. We out, y'all.